Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Carlos. Today, we're going to be going over a just a quick review of chest and arm routine, week after week, day after day, just keeping at it. How do we keep this enthusiasm going? Are we seeing results? Are we seeing progress? Well, the paper says that we are. Our logbook says that we're progressing. Are we progressing actually? Are we increasing our parameters? Probably. They are slow in coming, they take time, and this is a game of patience. It's fun to see quick results, obviously, but when you've been at this for a while, what is it that you're striving for if you're not seeing a change in the mirror on a daily basis? How do you maintain your enthusiasm? How do you maintain your that energy, that drive to go to the gym and just, bomb it and do more than last time, or at least keep that high level of activity and intensity? You're not competing, perhaps. You're not um, going up against other people and, you're trying to do this for yourself, but you're not seeing a change on a daily. So, what keeps you motivated? How do you keep at this? Well, again, like I said, the training log is very important. So, how would you keep motivated if you had zero progress over time? Would you continue to do this? It'd be kind of like the myth of Sisyphus, who was condemned to roll a rock up a hill and then have it roll down again and go up again and down again with absolutely zero results, total futility, and like, what's the point? But of course, this is not the case. When you are progressing in an exercise regimen and you're seeing results, at least on the paper, you know that you're going forward and that it is beneficial over time. At first you do see a great deal of progress your first couple of months and years when you're lifting, but after a certain amount of time, things tend to level out and progress is slow. This is why training blocks are so important, and mixing it up between, powerlifting, strength, and pure hypertrophy. Now, for me, whenever I go in for pure hypertrophy without seeking the PRs, that's when I get kind of lost in the weeds, because it's hard to see real progress in the logbook. Besides just doing more and more poundage on the workouts, so your total volume will increase, and then that pans out. It kind of gets, it reaches a point where you can't really increase the volume, and then it comes back, and it's really hard to track progress when you're just going for pumps. It really is. It's much easier when you're doing PRs. Yeah, I hit a new record this week. Okay, that'll keep you going. I hit a new deadlift max. Wow, okay, that'll keep you going. But when you're training just for pure hypertrophy, um, I guess when you're in a diet, sure, you'll be seeing changes. That's really fun. When you're really strictly in prep, doing those 12, 14 week, preps to get as peeled as you can. Of course, you're going to be seeing progress, because that restriction, the diet, there's nothing that'll provide a faster change in your life and your body than going strict on a low calorie diet. And you're going to see changes pretty darn quick. And if you add aerobic cardio activity, well, that's going to be even quicker. But this message is for those who are doing the weekly grind of hypertrophy and just trying to stick at it. What keeps you motivated? You should know that this takes a long time, obviously. You'll see changes over months and perhaps years once you get to this phase. So again, it's just, tracking those lifts and the progress, and having faith. You have to have faith that if you continue to, put in as much effort as you can into those lifts, into those sessions, that you'll have a proper outcome. So this week, or yesterday's session actually, was it was kind of mediocre. I mean, I don't have anything really to brag about. Nothing was uh, exceeded from the time before. It was just like another workout, just another workout. Went in and did the same amount of sets on the bench, same basic routine for the arms. And the only thing of note was that I spent 15 straight minutes at the very end doing wrist curls, old school wrist curls, kneeling at a bench, close grip, and just curling, wrist curling this weight until, frankly, I couldn't move my hand anymore. It was just like, fuck this. It was like, okay, but I hadn't done this in a while, and I figured, well, to cap off a spectacularly mediocre work, it wasn't mediocre. It was the bread and butter. It was the same old, same old, same old. Uh, do those workouts provide progress? I mean, do they work? Of course they work. And this has been going on in the internet for a bit now. I've been investigating this whole thing of working harder than last time. Obviously, that cannot be sustained over time. So, say you've reached a 250-pound bench press, and it has not improved over the last 6 months or the last year. You're basically doing the same workout every single week. Does that mean that you're not going to progress? On a certain level, the muscle never adapts. Okay, it's like you're going to come in one day and those 250 pounds is like, oh, it's like no weight there. It's like there's no gravity. It's ridiculously easy. Now you're lifting on the moon or something. It's because you've completely adapted. The muscle never completely adapts. Never. It's never going to be light. It's never going to be like no gravity. And so technically, it's always going to have an effort involved. You're always going to have to put in effort in whatever it is that you do. Will it be easier? Somewhat. Will it be easy? No, it'll never be easy. It'll always provide a challenge. So does that mean the muscle will not grow if you're always doing 250 pounds on the bench press week in, week out? It'll never grow? I don't believe that to be the case, because obviously people in the past have plateaued to a certain level and increased their muscularity spectacularly within those limited parameters. So as long as you're doing consistent, frequent work, you will provide the stimulus for protein synthesis and continue to grow as long as you're feeding it enough food, feeding your body with enough calories and protein. I don't believe that you have to ever you always have to increase your weights. That's a byproduct of getting bigger for sure. You will be increasing your poundages over time, but it's not a prerequisite to increase your physical aspect. I mean, to increase in muscle. So those plateaus, those high plateaus, are a great place to be. Once you reach a certain level of competence with your weights, I mean, you're doing enough. You can stay there as long as those efforts are sustained over time. You will continue to increase and improve. And once you get on that diet and really peel away the fat, it's going to show. So not everybody has to lift 500 pounds on the bench press to get an impressive chest. Not everybody has to do. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to notice that the best deadlifters have the most mediocre backs. Like there's a lot of skinny rail, lanky guys doing a lot of weight on the deadlift. It says, well, it's the best exercise for all overall, muscularity. And I say bullshit. I see some of these guys that have great backs that do deadlifts. They do deadlifts because they have these great backs and they do deadlifts. And so correlation is not causation. It's not that is not causing that. They had the great back from doing rows and other things, and they developed their muscles, and they're doing these deadlifts, and they get ridiculously strong, and so you think the deadlift is providing the muscle for the back, and it's just not the case. Like I said, a lot of guys that are extremely strong on the deadlift have extremely mediocre back development. So is it the heavy weight? Probably not. It's more focused work, concentrated work in a short period of time with strict reps, high reps, a lot of pump. And yeah, you will increase your weight over time. Okay, I want to get into a subject that's been a pet peeve of mine, which is the cardio aerobic thing. And I'm saying that cardio is backward. It's completely backward. What does that mean? What do you mean cardio is backward? Well, calling it cardio is backward. It should be called pulmonary. What you do when you run up a hill is that you're agonizing your breath. You're out of breath. You got to catch more air. You have to work on the breathing first, and then your heart rate will follow. Your breathing is the only thing you can control voluntarily. You can't control your heart rate voluntarily. Looking at your heart rate on the monitor while you're doing your treadmill is backward. You should focus on your breathing, control your breathing, your intake of air. Once you control your breathing, your cardio, you can actually modify your cardio through your breathing. But if you wait for that cardio to pull your breathing, you're backward. It's wrong. You have to focus on the breathing first. Look at these cage fighters in the UFC when they're gassing out. And they have great cardio, and they go to the corner. What's the first thing that that their trainer tells them? Breathe, breathe. They don't tell you, pump your heart, pump your heart. They're not saying that. They're saying breathe. Your breathing controls your heart rate. If you let your heart rate control your breathing, you have it backward. So the more that you focus on your breathing when doing these exercises, taking a hard set to failure, doing any exercise, being a one-arm row, pull down, your squats, your whatever it is, you're much better served by focusing on your breathing. And most of you guys know this instinctively. But we're being drilled in by, the Greg Doucette's of the world. You got to do your cardio. And I say, no, you don't do your cardio. You got to do your breathing. Get on that treadmill and learn to breathe. Breathe deeply. Breathe purposefully. And then your heart rate will be modified. You can track your heart rate. But it's like, say, I'm going to go into the gym and do my sweat glands today. Yeah, I'm going to work on my sweat glands today. That's completely backward. The sweat is a byproduct of the effort, much as the cardio is a byproduct of the effort. And the first thing where the rubber hits the road is your breathing. So I got to get that out there. We might do a series on the cardio conspiracy, how everybody has it backward. It's probably harmful to wait for your breathing to catch up to your cardio. It probably does some discombobulation on the heart valves and shit. It's because the thing that has to be focused on is providing oxygen and air to your blood, to provide that for your heart, and then the whole thing will work better. Your mind will work better. Your muscles work. Your sets will be performed to more optimum level if you focus on your breathing when you get on that treadmill or that elliptical or any exercise. When you run up a flight of stairs, first thing that gives out is your breathing. You're agonizing for another breath of air. So guys, listen and take heed when you're doing your exercises. Focus more on your breathing. Anyways, so getting back to the day in, day out grind, staying focused, stay on a plan. If you're not progressing with your major lifts and you're just focusing on hypertrophy, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? Well, you have to figure that out for yourself. For me, it's just a long-term thing. I know that over time, over a series of, weeks and months, things do progress if you stay on point. If you stay focused, progress will come. Now, say you have a stubborn body part, say your calves, you've been doing calf training for a while and you see like a zero progress. What are you going to do? I've seen this like in major bodybuilders, top bodybuilders like Ian Valliere, they get on his shit because he has like no calf muscles or very little compared to the rest of his development. Is it futile? I mean, to focus on something and get like no results, why would you do that? What's the purpose in it? And yet, we're pretty stubborn. So you just got to keep at it. Just got to keep at it. The reward will come. The reward will come. I guess that's the case, So you have to find your motivation in something else than immediate, feedback and reward. So yeah, I got a pump. Wow, my biceps went from 18 to 22. Yeah, that would be motivating. Yeah, right. Pump it up. It's not going to happen. Pumps come and go. Pumps come and go. It's your performance. Your performance should keep you on point. Your performance should be going up. If it's not weekly, monthly. And if your performance is not going up, then you have to look and find out what it is that is limiting your performance. What is it? Is it your diet? Is it your mind? Are you not putting enough effort? Are you not tracking your workouts? This is a very important thing. I see a lot of guys just winging it. Yeah, I went in and did triceps session last week with some, this, that, and the other. And do you know how many reps you got on your third set? Not really. I always do like a 10, 12, 12, 10, 8, and 6. And it's always the same thing with, basically the same weight. So, well, that's not tracking progress. You have to write everything down. One more rep than last time is an increase in your output. So say you're doing 3,000 pounds total on your dumbbell curls, your seated dumbbell curls. Did 4 sets, totaled out the reps, totaled out the weight, and it's about 2,500, 3,000 pounds. You should be looking to increase those parameters. Okay, we're going to try to do 2,700 pounds or 3,200 pounds. And this is what tracking does. It keeps you on point. That doesn't mean that every single session is going to improve, but you should be improving over time. Your output should be improving. And if you're eating the same amount of calories, that means that you're putting more effort into your lifts, that mentally you're expending more effort. But you should also be tracking your calories on your way up. If you're bulking, you should have an idea more or less of how many calories you're ingesting. Me personally, I started tracking when I was, first doing the bulk. I would track meticulously, and then it got a bit dry because I was doing the same basically the same calories, and I couldn't eat any more. No matter how much I tried, I was up to 4,400 calories. I can't eat more than that. Not clean. I'd have to go dirty, like cheeseburgers, pizzas, weight gainers, and all that crap, which I'm not really, keen on doing because I don't want to get fat. I know that I can gain a lot of weight, and most of it's going to be fat. I can zoom up from, 198 to this morning. If I just started eating like a pig and just eating anything and everything and slamming down weight gainers and eating a lot of junk food, I could probably go up to 220, 230 pounds in a few months. And I am absolutely certain most of that would be, fat. And the training would probably take a hit too, because when you're eating those extreme amounts of food, it's not conducive to doing high energy workouts at the gym. That's for sure. It really hurts the performance. I find that performance goes up as long as you're maintaining a clean diet. So I was rambling a bit here all over the place in this video. That's fine. Just take from it what you will. Little, things here and there might help out. Anyways, God bless everybody. Everybody take care. Until next time.
Pero literal,